Hi, everybody. Happy Tuesday, and welcome to Designlab's informational webinar all about our new course, AI for UX Design. My name is Rudy, and I lead the admissions team here at Designlab. Very excited to share some more information about this course with you all today. So thank you so much for being here. I'm also very excited because today we are joined by Chrissy Welsh, who is our co-creator of this course, and she has joined in today to be able to share a lot more in-depth insights about the process of putting this course together and some of her expertise and background knowledge specifically related to this topic. So Chrissy, if you'd like to just say a quick hello as well.
Yeah, of course. I'm really excited to be here too, and to talk or answer questions anyone might have about the content of the course, or any details specific around what they might actually learn by doing it. So I'm here to help people as well. So yeah, excited to be here for you guys.
Wonderful. So we have a few more people who are just trickling on. So glad to have you here. Welcome. Hello. Please do take a second to say hi in the chat. You'll find the chat icon in the lower right-hand corner of your screen. We'd love to know where you all are tuning in from today. And if there's any immediate questions that are top of mind for you or things that you're particularly hoping to learn about during today's session, please also feel free to drop those details into the chat as well. I have a short slide presentation prepared for you all. They'll take probably about 20 minutes to go through. Chrissy and I will have kind of an open discussion and Q&A to allow you all to ask your burning questions of her as well. So we're going to make sure to address all of your questions. So if you can start throwing any and all of those thoughts, ideas, areas of interest into the chat, that's wonderful. I see you've already got a bunch of folks who are saying hi. So Matt is tuning in from Boston. Sapna's in San Francisco. Diana in Venezuela. Very cool. Even more people are like saying hi faster than I can scroll and keep up in the chat. Some folks tuning in from New York, California, Pittsburgh, Portland, Colorado. Love it. Berta's in Berlin. I'm joining you all today from Costa Rica. Chrissy, where are you tuning in from?
Yeah, I'm in Amsterdam.
Amsterdam. Okay, cool. Lovely. So we've got a very multinational, far-flung crowd today. Carla's in Norway, Nadia in South Carolina. Lovely. Well, thank you all so much for being here. We're really excited to share some more information. And let's just dive straight in because we do have a fair amount to cover in our short time together today. Here's a very brief overview of everything that we're going to be discussing. We'll provide a quick intro about Designlab. Many of you maybe have taken courses with us previously, but for anybody who is new to Designlab, we wanted to give you a brief intro. And then we're going to talk a little bit more in detail about the course. So why you would take AI for UX design, who this course is designed for, and some more specifics about the course structure, format, curriculum, projects that you'll be working on, and the expert mentorship that you'll receive along the way. We have Chrissy here with us today. She's going to be camera off while I talk you through this initial portion of the deck, but then we'll bring her back on stage for more of this open discussion to talk with her about the program, and then we'll share some logistical information about how you can sign up before all of the seats are taken in this inaugural cohort of the course. And we also have a discount available just for this very first cohort of AI for UX design. So I will be sharing more information about how you can save your spot in the course, take advantage of this discount. So make sure you stay tuned to the end because we'll provide a lot more information about that in just a bit. We are also recording today's session, so if you'd like to watch it back later, perhaps share it with a colleague who might also be interested in enrolling in this course with you, you will receive the link to the recording via email as soon as we are done here today. Okay, so without any further ado, let's jump right in to a brief introduction to Designlab. Designlab was founded back in 2013, and we have been running online courses for digital design for over a decade. And since the very beginning, we've been focused on providing the highest quality learning experience that we can, which brings together all the flexibility you get from an online format of learning and connects that to the really crucial insight and support that comes from working directly with a mentor who is a well-vetted expert in this topic. This last part is really key to how we approach everything we do here at Designlab, because we truly believe that the learning experience is so much more effective and engaging. It's also just a lot more fun when you have that real element of human interaction. Over the course of the 10 plus years that we have been running our online courses, we've had more than 20,000 students enroll into one of our many different offerings. And we also have an extremely robust network of more than 500 expert mentors, people who are working in design for companies all across the globe in nearly every industry or sector that you can imagine, who are also supporting the participants in our courses day in and day out. Likewise, the people who have participated in our programs and trainings are actively working in design at orgs that also span the globe and huge range of industries. And one of the great things about joining a course with Designlab is that you become a member of this expanding and ever-growing professional network of working designers, and you'll have access to our community space in Discord as you go throughout the course, which is a really useful resource for asking questions, getting connected to additional information related to what you're learning about, getting some specific feedback on your projects. But it's also a lifetime resource that you'll continue to have access to even after the course is done. So it's a great way to continue to expand your professional network and take advantage of these other professional development opportunities. Given that we have this emphasis on a mentor-led approach to learning, we place the utmost importance on having mentors who have significant expertise in the topics that we teach across all of our courses. They need to not only understand all the skills that we're teaching, they have to have a proven track record of actually implementing those within their own design careers, as well as demonstrate the ability to provide constructive feedback to guide folks as they're learning these skills and help them to level up in their own design careers. So our mentors are leaders in their organizations. They have a multitude of experience across all aspects of UX, UI, product, and digital design disciplines. And they understand how successful designers and successful design teams continue to unlock their potential by ongoing investment in learning new skills and training. So this is just an example of some of our many amazing mentors. Chrissy is also a longstanding mentor with us here at Designlab. So this just gives you kind of a high-level overview of some of the amazing people we have supporting participants in our programs. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about why you would enroll into this AI for UX design course. So first and foremost, you are going to really level up your own skill set as a designer so that you can work a lot smarter and a lot more efficiently if you start incorporating these latest generative AI technologies into your workflows. So you'll be able to speed up things like research and ideation and prototyping. And the goal is we're going to teach you strategies to do so that you're not ceding creative control to a machine, but rather being really thoughtful about how you're incorporating these technologies into your existing design practices. You're going to be building future-ready skills. So it's really crucial now more than ever to very much stay ahead of the curve with picking up these new tools and technologies, because these are things that top designers are already adopting. And in order to really, stay at the top of your game as you continue to advance and grow in your career, you're going to need to understand how these work. This course is also designed to teach you proven strategies. So the techniques that we will be teaching you are drawn directly from Chrissy's extensive experience actually implementing these with design teams that she has led in the past. So we have seen firsthand that the techniques that we're going to teach you in this course have helped design teams to, reduce task time by anywhere from 50 to 80%. The course itself is designed to be extremely practical, tangible, and hands-on. So it's really built for working designers, working design teams, and you're going to learn things that you'll be able to take away from the course and start applying straight away in your day-to-day work. I do want to kind of walk you through some personas of who we have designed this course for, because it's important that you have some background knowledge and experience so that you can really get the most value out of the learning experience. So first off, we have Sabrina, the scaling individual contributor, who is a product designer with about 3 years of experience. She works at a design organization with a very fast pace of work and a high volume of work that she's responsible for. She feels really confident, of course, in her design skills and experience as a product designer, but she can struggle because of just the overload of how much work she's responsible for, how time-consuming some of the parts of the process are, especially when it comes to things like research or prototyping tasks. And of course, she wants to stay ahead of AI trends, but she's not really sure where to start. So taking this AI for UX design course allows Sabrina to integrate these AI tools into her workflow. It can speed up those time-consuming tasks that she's responsible for. She can get to a very strong first drafts a lot quicker in her work. So she's saving a lot of time each week and becomes known as the person on her team who really works smarter and faster without sacrificing quality. Next, we have Thomas, who is a team lead. He is a UX lead managing a team of, maybe 6 or so designers. He's really responsible for process improvement, for making tooling decisions for his team, deciding which tools they're going to invest into. And he has been given a very specific directive to explore how AI can improve his team's efficiency. So he wants to be able to make some really informed choices about how his team is going to start adapting these tools, and also then support them through that process without, wasting a lot of time on things that maybe are just a lot of hype, but don't have, real tactical implications for his team. So after taking this AI for UX design course, Thomas has a really clear understanding of where AI can make a real impact for his team. He can bring that knowledge back and help implement these time-saving workflows and tools with his team that they can start using straight away. And he's able to be very confident in leading this transition into an AI-augmented process for design. And then we have Ingrid, who's an independent consultant. So Ingrid works freelance as a UX designer. She's got a lot of experience in the field, over 8 years. She typically works with early stage startups or really fast moving teams, and she wears a ton of different hats in her freelance capacity. She's doing every step of the design process and often needs to be delivering super quickly and turning things around on tight deadlines. So she's curious about how she can use AI to increase her output, again, without sacrificing any of that kind of creative voice and lens through which she's working. So after taking this AI for UX design course, Ingrid is able to use AI to streamline her research and really synthesize her ideas, to generate quick prototypes, to deliver a lot faster for her many different clients without compromising quality. And she can add AI-powered workflows to her toolkit and what she kind of demonstrates as her set of offerings for potential new clients, which makes her even more valuable as a freelancer that they may be looking to hire. I do want to share some information about people who this course is not designed for, just to make sure you have a clear understanding. So if you are somebody who is completely new to the field of UX, UI, or product design, or if you're looking to make a career transition into UX or product, but you have not actually worked in this capacity previously, this is not going to be the right course for you. We have an award-winning career track program here at Designlab that we would love to tell you more information about. So if you're looking to launch your career in UX or product, please reach out to the admissions team. We can share more information about that program, which would be a better fit for you. If you're someone who is a designer, you're looking for a really in-depth technical course about how to build an AI model or how to actually code AI tools, that is also not this course. There's other offerings out there that are much more specific to building AI models and coding for AI tools, but this is not going to be the focus of what this course is. And then I would say if you're a designer who is looking for a very theoretical or high level overview of AI trends, or sort of just the general background of, kind of what powers AI tools that doesn't have a lot of practical hands-on application, that is also not this course. We've seen that with the sort of dawn of generative AI, there's tons of courses out there that can give you a really good high level overview of, what these tools generally do. But we wanted to make sure that we could sort of fill that gap of providing training experience that actually helps you understand, okay, but how do I actually implement this in my day-to-day, specifically as a UX and product designer? Again, if you're someone who's looking for a fully automated design solution, you're not looking to kind of keep your thinking hat on while you're using these tools, that's also not going to be the right fit. Again, we really want you to understand how these AI tools augment your existing processes. The goal is not to have these tools replace the work that you do as a designer. You're not going to turn your brain off when you start using them. It's very important that you keep your brain switched on as you are thinking really critically about how you're going to incorporate them. Okay, so let's talk a little bit now about exactly how the course is set up. Before I jump in, I do also just want to say hello to a few more folks who have joined us since we got started. Welcome, glad to have you all here. Please do feel free to say hi in the chat. And if you have any questions as we're going along, drop those into the chat or into the questions section. We're going to keep an eye on that, and we'll make sure to talk through those questions in just a little bit in our live Q&A with course co-creator Chrissy Welsh, and also at the end of the session just to wrap up in case there's anything else that came up along the way. Okay, so AI for UX design. What is the learning experience going to be like? It is a 4-week long course, which is set up to suit the schedule of busy working designers like yourselves. Each week, you can expect that you'll spend between 5 to 6 hours on the course material, and this time is split between both synchronous and asynchronous learning formats. So at the start of each week, there will be a live video lecture, which is going to be led by Chrissy, and we'll introduce you to the specific topics that we're focusing on for the week. We strongly encourage you to attend these lectures live, although they are also going to be recorded, so you will have access to watch the recording if you're not available to join it live. We've set this up really to suit your schedule, so whatever is going to work best for you each week. But you'll begin the learning experience each week by reviewing this video lecture as kind of the introduction to the concepts we're focusing on for that week. You're then going to apply those core concepts through hands-on exercises and projects that you'll be completing asynchronously. So you can fit that into your schedule very flexibly throughout the week. And then towards the later end of the week, you're going to have a live 60-minute peer group session, which is led by your mentor and attended by a small group of fellow participants, where you'll be discussing your learnings, going through some guided demos, doing some more practical application, and talking through any questions that come up, blockers, or having discussions about how these concepts relate to your day-to-day work as designers. At the end of each week, you're going to be turning in your project via our custom learning platform. And your mentor is also going to be reviewing your project submissions directly through the platform, providing personalized written feedback on all of those submissions and project work as well. The weekly peer group sessions are a really integral part of the learning experience. So I wanted to talk a little bit more about what you can expect and what will happen during each of those throughout all 4 weeks of the course. So again, peer group sessions will take place weekly. They will be 60 minutes in length. We do offer these sessions across a variety of different days and different times of day to suit folks who have different working schedules or who are located across different time zones. We keep these peer group sessions very small in order to ensure that every person is able to fully participate, to showcase what they're working on, to ask questions and get direct feedback. These sessions are really key because they're going to allow you to really integrate what you're learning in a way that's simply not possible by just watching like a short tutorial and then trying to figure it out on your own. We've structured all of these to include a really good mix of, seeing some live guided demos, having some practical hands-on application built into the session, and having plenty of time for questions and open discussion. So in order to get the full value out of this course, we really encourage that you join all of these sessions live every single week. But we do also understand that sometimes life comes up. If you're not able to attend at the last minute for some reason, we do also record these peer group sessions, and you will have access to the recordings so you can watch them back later as well. Okay, so let's talk a little bit more about what you can expect across each of the 4 weeks of the course. So week 1 is focused on foundations of AI in UX design. So this week introduces the intersection of AI and design. It focuses on some foundational tools like DALL-E, Midjourney, ChatGPT, and also talks about some ethical frameworks to think about how we use these tools. You're going to explore about how AI shapes things like a brand's identity, user personas, and responsible design practices. And you're also going to get practice with building workflows for mood boards, bias mitigation, copyright compliance. So we'll introduce you to all of these kind of foundational topics, and you're going to get started applying these already through hands-on project work, where you'll do things like explore basic prompting techniques. You'll actually develop some brand identity elements like a logo, a color palette, typography using these AI-generated mood boards. You'll create user personas with ChatGPT. You'll refine them through ethical AI audits, and you're going to understand how ethical principles apply to this type of work. Then in week 2, we talk about AI for research and ideation. So this week is going to focus on leveraging AI for competitive analysis, market research, and inclusive design. You're going to use some other tools like Scholar GPT and Perplexity so that you can identify things like market gaps, synthesize user insights, and refine the personas that you started creating in the previous week and create some journey maps while prioritizing things like diversity and accessibility. In week 3, we focus on AI-enhanced prototyping and testing. So this week really emphasizes rapid prototyping and testing with AI tools like Wizard and Galileo. And you're going to design some key app flows, things like onboarding or planning tools you're going to do things like generating microcopy for an app's design. And you'll also analyze usability feedback with AI so that you can refine your solutions. And again, get experience with this rapid prototyping process. Then in week 4, we focus on building future-ready workflows. So this final week really is focused on optimizing AI workflows, crafting some go-to-market strategies, and preparing teams for AI adoption. So you're actually going to create a launch plan, you'll be defining post-launch metrics, and you're going to learn how you can advocate for AI tools in professional settings. As you go throughout all 4 weeks of the course, you are going to be getting introduced to all of these topics through the live lecture, and then you're going to be putting them into practice through the weekly hands-on projects. And each week of the course is going to ask you to, build this technical proficiency with these AI tools, emphasizing every step along the way, things like ethical design, user centricity, and making sure that your workflows are scalable. And you'll be doing this through the hands-on application of the projects. So each week, you'll be working through a sequence of projects that all build off of one another. So from start to finish across the 4 weeks of the course, you're going to be doing sort of an end-to-end design of a mobile app using all of these different AI tools that we're learning about. And it's going to culminate in a launch-ready product that has been supported by responsible AI integration. Okay, so you're going to be learning from some experts across all 4 weeks of this course. I'd love to invite Chrissy to come back on stage because I'd love to now kind of turn it over to a discussion with you, Chrissy, to talk a little bit about how you developed this course. So if you wouldn't mind, could you just start by giving just a brief sort of overview of your own background and how you came to start incorporating these tools into your team's workflows?
Yeah, of course. So this whole course was actually born because I myself didn't have this information, and I was using AI in my workflows with my teams. And we could find, as a team, we could find a lot of information about the theory around using AI and what should be there and the ethics around it and etc. But where the rubber started to hit the road about actual usage and the flows and the proper integrations about how it comes together, there was a severe lack of information. So I started creating my own documentation, my own information around how these integrations need to happen. And also we started having a look, and I'll start by saying I'm in a very privileged position because before moving to KPN, I worked at ING in advanced analytics. I'm working next to the data science building models. I'm working next to AI professionals. And that's where a lot of this is born from, because I'm working next to people at the cutting edge of what they're building. And I'm coming from a design point of view, and I'm coming from a UX point of view, and how we actually do this kind of integration and speed up. And a lot of the metrics that were put on me were about time on task and about improving the quality of the work and the time on it. So a lot of what you see or what's in the course is actually how that happens, how you do it, and what tools can be used. And actually a tool audit is something that I'll talk about in the workflow on week 4. But these tools are not going to be forever tools. They will have to swap in and out as tools improve or engage over time. That is something we'll talk about starting at week 4 in a conversation, but we'll talk about that in how it all integrates. But it starts with understanding what you need, how to actually prompt correctly. I talk about that a lot. People can use prompts. That's not a problem. People use prompts all the time. But how to prompt, reprompt, and interrogate the content of what's created, you can do that really fast. And you can create a lot of great quality design work if you understand the sequence of events that has to happen with generated content. And then if you use the generated content in your design work, which we do every single day, you have to be able to then trace back where you used it. So we have like an ethical audit trail of what generated content relates to what assets that we created. So we can always trace it back. And these are new things that no one else is talking about. That's really important to the quality of design work, because the human in the loop is actually what creates the value. The generated content is only as good as a person asking the question and looking for the answer. And it's not just about generating content, it's also about insights. It's about new ways of interrogating the data you get from your interviews or your user interviews or your research. And you can use these tools like Scholar, GPT, or Perplexity to upload and then interrogate, ask questions to it saying, what am I missing? Tell me about the major insights that are coming out of these interviews. You can upload the transcripts for doing that. And these kind of ways of working, it's not about any one tool. It's actually about the new designer toolkit, from going from being the sole creator to being a co-creator and an integrator of tooling, an orchestrator, and someone with a critical hat on to go, what are we creating? How are we making it? And is it good enough quality? And that is what I wanted to teach in the course. So a very long answer, but I'm very passionate about it because I spend a lot of time working on this. And this is now, this has been my workflow for about just over a year with my design team. So it's tried and tested. And we are, depending on task, we are between 50 and 80% time reduction. That's what we've got. So we spend our time now doing the iteration work that we never have the time for. So it's not about replacing it and just doing another project. It's about doing that first project the way it should have always been done, but you were never given the time for. So now if you can speed up, you can incorporate a couple of rounds of iteration, and now you're delivering better quality because you have the time at the end to actually do some of the iteration and testing work that always seems to get cut out of the project. So I'm really excited to be working this way. So sorry, I took up
that's
a lot
really
of time
amazing. No, that's
space.
wonderful. We can really see the passion that comes through. I think it's really exciting too that you just happened to be exactly in the right time in the right place in the teams that you were collaborating with as you were kind of creating these processes and trying them out with your team at ING. The fact that from the very beginning you were working with people who said, like, let's not only try these new processes and workflows, but let's measure how it's going so that you can really speak to it. Because I think a lot of people generally have an understanding of how AI tools can help you do a given task faster. And they also probably have an understanding of how, the first result you get is not the finished result. The person, who's prompting the tools is still very much in the driver's seat of making sure that you get to the level of quality that you're looking for. So I think that all makes a lot of sense. It's really interesting to hear you talk too about the need for new processes that work alongside existing ones as well. Things like incorporating an ethical audit into the overall design process. Like
being explicit about what content was
before.
generated. This is actually something which, as designers, we're going to have to now get familiar with, because we cannot hide it that we're generating content, and nor should we. So it's like, okay, so what's the process for being explicit and being transparent about the content that's generated, and where were you in that process? Because copyright and ownership is something that we cannot claim unless we can use the information in another way. You cannot claim it. So if you're taking it directly, this is something I'll talk about in the course, like where the laws and the restrictions, like it gets a bit, it gets, I think it's interesting, but it's the reason why you have to do this kind of work, because you need to be able to tell your client if they ever get into trouble, exactly what was generated and exactly why and where and how it was used, and where the human part of that interpretation layer comes in. That's actually what you need. And sometimes you have to interpret it and then you adjust it a second or third time. So anyway.
Yeah, of course. Amazing. Well, thank you for sharing that insight. I have a few more slides that I want to get through just to talk about a little bit more about the nuts and bolts and logistics, because I'm sure folks who are here are quite excited to get involved in the course. I want to make sure that they know how they can go ahead and do so. So I'm going to kind of jump back into those last couple of slides. But if you'd like to stay on camera, please stick around for a little bit, Chrissy. We'll make sure to also answer all of the questions. I see a number of questions have been coming through into the questions section while we've been chatting. So for all of you who asked your questions, we'll get there in just a minute. I have just a few more slides that I want to walk you through, and then we'll make sure to answer all of those before we wrap up together today. I don't want to make you feel completely put on the spot, Chrissy, but we have some great feedback from students you've worked with in past courses that you've mentored with us. And so we did just want to quickly share some of the amazing glowing feedback that you've had from your past mentees about just what a great mentor, you know, and instructor you are as far as helping people to level up their design skills. So I don't need to read these out loud. You all can read, but just wanted to share you a couple of really lovely messages that folks have shared in the past about your mentorship. I also wanted to note that all of the mentors who are going to be working with participants in this course are folks who, like Chrissy, have a lot of experience in design and have gone through a very rigorous vetting process. So anybody who works with us as a mentor in any of our course offerings has to demonstrate really in-depth knowledge of the topic at hand. They have to demonstrate that they've already started applying these skills in their own design projects, and that they, in addition to their design acumen, also have the skills related to mentorship, providing constructive feedback, supporting people through understanding these new topics. So everyone who is going to be in this course will be working alongside a mentor every week through those weekly peer group sessions. They'll be getting personalized feedback from their mentor, people who are leaders and have worked at, you know, or with companies like Apple, PwC, Slack, and more. So we have a really great group of mentors who are going to be supporting the learning process in this course as well. Okay, so how does one get started? We have an upcoming cohort starting on May 2nd, and we only have 50 seats available in this cohort, and this is really just limited by our mentors' availability and the fact that we keep every peer group session with those mentors nice and small so that everybody fully gets the value out of that learning experience. These 50 seats, already half of them are already full, and we have more than 100 people who signed up for today's webinar. So I imagine a lot of people here are really excited to get started. If you know you want to be a part of this cohort, please make sure to enroll ASAP. I'm going to share a link with you in just a second. I'm going to share the discount information with you in just a second in the chat. So as soon as I drop that in there, I would highly recommend enrolling ASAP. Once these 50 seats are filled, we're going to have to move to a wait list, and we cannot guarantee that we will have a space available for you. It's going to be kind of first come, first served. So again, make sure to enroll sooner than later so that you don't miss out getting started learning these skills straight away. The exciting bit about this inaugural cohort that we have launching on May 2nd is that we're offering $100 off for everybody who enrolls into this first ever cohort of AI for UX design. So when you enroll, you can use this discount code you see on the screen. It's all caps, AI for UX, and that's going to get you $100 off. Instead of $7.99, the tuition will be just $6.99. And I'm dropping the link into the chat right now. So this is the time where you're definitely going to want to go ahead and hit enroll to make sure that your spot is saved before those 50 seats are completely filled up. When you click through using that link that I just shared in the chat, that discount will be automatically applied at checkout. So you'll see that $6.99 total tuition is reflected there. This discount is going to expire on May 1st at midnight, or whenever the last seat in the course fills up, whichever one comes first. And again, this course has been filling very quickly, so we imagine that it's going to completely fill up well before that start date, which we're very excited about. I did see a question come through in the chat. Someone was asking if we're going to have other start dates after the May 2nd one. The answer is absolutely yes. We run all of our courses on a regular basis. We do have the next start date for this course already confirmed. It will be starting on June 6th. So if you're not able to join the May 2nd cohort for any reason, you can still go ahead and enroll right now and make sure to save your spot for the June 6th one. Given that we're probably going to have to move to a wait list for this first cohort, it's wise to go ahead and save your spot in advance for June's start date, because I'm sure that one will start filling quickly as well. Do keep in mind that this discount is only available for the May start date though. So when you click through on the link that I shared in the chat, it'll save your spot in the course. You'll be charged the course tuition to secure your spot. We do also have a 2-part payment plan available. So if you would like to make use of that, there's a different code that you'll need to use on the enrollment form. And I'm sharing that into the chat right now. That code is half now, half later. Again, it's all caps. And when you include that code, you'll be charged 50% of the tuition today to secure your spot, and then 50% will be charged on the course end date. Please do keep in mind that you can't combine multiple discounts or promotional offers, so you won't be able to use the 2-part payment plan along with the inaugural cohort discount. So just pick whichever one works best for you. I saw Juan did mention in the chat that the discount doesn't work for the June 6th date. That's correct. This $100 discount is just for the May 2nd cohort. So if you want to make sure that you're able to apply that discount, you'll need to enroll in that May 2nd cohort. Many people who enroll in this course, as well as other advanced courses with us, have access to some kind of tuition benefit through their employer. So if you have access to this type of learning and development or professional development budget that will cover all of the course tuition or some part of the course tuition, reach out to the admissions team directly after this session, and we will let you know exactly how you can get that applied, because we're very happy to help you use that budget. Okay. I also wanted to briefly mention we have this thing called the Happiness Promise, because we strongly believe you're going to have a great experience in this course. You're going to learn so many things that you can start implementing in your day-to-day straight away. But if you're not a fan of the course and you have fully participated, you are eligible to get your money back within 7 days of finishing. I won't spend long on this slide because I want to make sure we get to all of your questions, but I did just want to mention that beyond this AI for UX design course, there's a whole range of other courses that we have running here on a regular basis at Designlab, which are related to really in-demand topics and skills that are useful for working designers to level up. So you can find more details on our website at the link I just shared. And if you know you're planning to take more than one of our courses, you should absolutely create a course bundle, because it gets you access to additional savings when you create a bundle and pay upfront. So I'm going to also just share the link for where you can create your course bundle and access those additional savings. And again, if you have any questions about any of this, reach out to admissions. But for now, I do want to just make sure that we have a chance to hop over and answer those other questions that have been coming in throughout. So I'm going to flip back over there. I saw that there was a question that came in from Pamela while you were chatting, Chrissy, which I think would be great for you to answer. Pamela asks, I'm hoping to also gain knowledge of using AI in my Figma workflow with my company's new design system. Will Figma and AI be covered?
Yes, it will be. It is one of the plugins that I'm going to cover in the workflow. It's one of a few different kinds of ways of doing the same thing with a couple of different models or different AI technology. For example, I will go to Galileo, I will go to Figma AI and UiZard, for example. Those are 3 different ways of doing the same thing, and I'll cover the pros and cons of each and when to use them in your workflow. And I use all 3 for different things. We cover also the different LLMs and when to use them for what as well. Not all of them are great for everything, and that's something we need to be aware of. Also, as designers, we think one LLM does it all. It is not the case. And so it will be that in depth that we will look at all the different technology types, where to use them and how to use them in your workflow, and for what things right now it is good for, because that can change with new features released, for example, in the future. But yes, we will cover it along with many other things. So no one AI rules them all. And I think if there's anything to take away from the course and how to build in your workflows, it is the fact that combinations and human discernment will be part of the practical part of how we now work as designers, and how we choose these tools and how we vet them is also something that we have to think about now as part of our job. But yes, it will be part of the course.
Amazing. Thank you. Christopher asked another great question. He says, when the course is completed, will we have an AI portfolio piece to showcase? I wondered if you could speak to that a little bit, Chrissy, because I know the projects are sequenced to build off of one another. So there is kind of this full, pitch deck, final designs for a mobile app. Is this something that you envision people can share in their portfolio?
Yes, I deliberately did it like this. I'll tell you why. Because I wanted you to see AI in an end-to-end workflow, and there's no other better way of doing that than showing you what the workflows are if you were to use it end to end. So yes, you will have a piece of work in the end that you can use in your portfolio, which you can talk about to employers or hiring managers about how you integrate these in your workflow. It's not the only reason to do it. The reason to do it is the practical part of experiencing it end to end and building it and knowing the practical parts of how to integrate it. But yes, you will have a piece at the end that's a byproduct of how the course is set up.
Yeah, absolutely. That's just kind of like the cherry on top at the end. Yeah, I would say there's 2 cherries on top. One is the portfolio piece that you can showcase. The other is that you will earn a certificate as well, which you can just one click add it straight to your LinkedIn as well, to start sharing, your proficiency with these skills on tools like that as well. So a couple of exciting bonuses after you have completed the course. Okay, Laura had asked about additional dates. So we did talk about that. And Laura was also asking about her company's professional development budget covering part of the course tuition. So just reach out to the admissions team, Laura. I can actually flip us forward to the next slide. So you see our contact details right there. Just shoot us a quick email right now after the session, and we'll make sure to help you get that applied. And then Rob asked a great question, which is how will this course be different from another course that Designlab offers, which is our AI for visual design course. And so I think in a nutshell, the difference between the two courses is right there in the name. So AI for UX design, as Chrissy has been mentioning, is showing how these AI tools are incorporated end to end in the entirety of the UX design process. The AI for visual design course is specifically about mastering generative AI tools that are for creating visual design assets. And so that can be, the output of those visual designs that you create could be used across a huge range of different applications. Certainly, it could be creating visual assets that you use in the product design, UX UI design process, but it could also be assets you're using to, create marketing materials, social media assets. It could be for just, polishing presentations that you're doing within your organization. It could be for creative, artistic projects. It's a really very wide scope. And again, it's just focused on how do you master prompting with the tools for developing those visual design assets in particular. I don't know if there's anything else that you wanted to add, Chrissy. I know you're not maybe necessarily as intimately acquainted with that AI for visual design course as you are with the one you're creating.
Yeah, for the visual course, is as you said, the clues in the name, it's visual assets that you're creating there. What we are doing is much more different. We're talking about generating test plans and interrogating data with systems, for example, making sure that you can query the information that's coming back. This is very different from just visual design. It's more the depth of a user experience process to vet what you create is the right thing for product, for example. So it's a different angle. And whereas AI for visual can also be for like marketing or heavy on the marketing piece, this is heavy on product. So this is making sure that we're building and creating the right things, and also that we're building with speed and accuracy, and how that looks like to do that in the modern world now.
Amazing. Wonderful. Yeah, hopefully that helps clarify. I would say, to your point, Rob, there are great courses if you're someone who really wants to demonstrate an extremely well-rounded understanding of these latest generative AI tools. So they could be quite complementary to one another. But also, if you have any questions about, which one is maybe going to be most relevant or a good kind of starting point for you with getting to understand these AI tools and specifically addressing your key learning objectives, reach out to the admissions team. We're happy to set up time to chat with you a bit more about which one or both might be the right fit. So that's a great transition also, just to making sure you have access to all of our contact details so that you can reach us after this session. So you can see our email is right there on the screen, and you can I'm going to drop it in the chat so you can copy and paste it as well. Please do feel free to reach out to the admissions team via email. If you would like to set up time to connect with us one-on-one on a call, you can also schedule some time using our calendar, which I'm dropping a link into the chat for as well. I see there was another question that came in from Dolph. Will the same product we design be limited to a mobile app, or will it also include a web app? That's a great question. Could you take that one, Christy?
Yeah, I can. It's flexible enough to allow you to interpret the brief. So I wrote the brief that you can interpret from mobile or web, for example. So you can do a layer of interpretation. It's written from the point of view of a client design brief. If we're all professionals, so we know what those look like. Sometimes the client writes a brief in a way that they're looking for guidance as much as they're also looking for the product. So that is something which you will explore in the research phases, for example, weeks 1 and 2, which is how do we get the right fit for the client. So yes, it's open to interpretation to a certain degree.
Wonderful. Yeah. And I would say, again, this is, of course, all about helping you learn these skills and giving you practice with applying them in a way that's going to be relevant to your own work. So if you work mostly in, designing web apps, definitely take the project brief in that direction, because it's going to help you to get more out of it. Wonderful. Okay, I think we have run through all the questions. Thank you all for your time today. Thanks for being so interactive and participatory. Thank you again so much, Chrissy, for joining us. It was a pleasure having you here today. I'm sure everyone is really excited to continue to engage and interact with you when they enroll into the course. So please do make sure to go ahead and click that enrollment button that I shared in the chat, and make sure that you can save your spot in our upcoming May 2nd cohort. Make sure you can take advantage of that discount. And if you have any further questions, do reach out to the admissions team. We're excited to continue the conversation and see you in the course soon. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thanks.